mic. Y'all need yours mic closer too.
Okay.
Give it closer to,
You gotta put it right up there. You got to get it up there. Lean into it.
lean into it and say, this meeting's about to start.
Want us to sing the national
Ready?
anthem?
All right,
You want us to lean into it and sing the national anthem?
there we go.
We have standing room only this morning.
We are live streaming at this moment. Good morning, everyone. Today is April the 22nd. This is your 10 a.m. edition. April 22nd, 2024. This is your 10 a.m. edition of Lavaca County Commissioners Court. And we will start with a roll call. Precinct 1.
Here.
Precinct 2. Here. Precinct 3.
Here.
Precinct 4.
Present.
And the judge is here, so let the record reflect that all 5 of us are here today. And with that, we will start with our invocation. Our most Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day. We thank you for this county that we live in. And we thank you for all the great weather that you've given us. You've taken us off the drought list, and we appreciate that, Lord. Just watch over us, watch over this governing body as we make decisions for the county, for the betterment of all people, and just be with us, Lord, in all the decisions that we make today. And we pray in your name. Amen.
Amen.
And now our pledges. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible. All right. Before we started, do we have any announcements? I think we have that now listed on our number 1 agenda item. Any announcements from the floor? Anything people want to say? The only thing I have is Fiddler Products is this weekend here in Hallettsville. So that's always a big weekend in Hallettsville with lots of traffic and lots of extra people in town. I think it's estimated that there could be 35,000 people in the county that weekend, on some weekends. So it's always a big weekend. We had a 20-year Veterans Appreciation Supper on Saturday. That was a well-attended event. If you haven't been able to attend one of those, that was my first one to attend. It was very neat, very inspiring to see all the veterans that come together and celebrate themselves and their what they've done for our country. So that was a very neat program. So I would encourage anyone next year, if you're able to, try to make that event. Anything else? Awful quiet in here today. Going once, going twice. We had someone that wanted to speak. I think they left the building. Is that correct? They're not here?
Mr. Kubicek took care of it.
Oh, Mr. Kubicek took
Our
it.
historian.
Our historian took care of it. But Mr. David Blackburn was here, and I think he was from Brenham, and Mr. Kubicek maybe got what he needed. I don't know. Thank you, Doug, for taking care of that one. Appreciate it. All right, with that, we'll move on to agenda item number 2, which is acknowledge Texas Department of Transportation virtual meeting invite April 25th, 2024, at 10 a.m. to provide comments on the 2025-2028 Rural Transportation Improvement Program. It's found on page 1. The agenda reads April 25th, 2024 at 10 a.m., but I believe the way this virtual meeting is going to work, and the public is invited to participate, any of us can participate. I believe it says it's available on Thursday, April 25th at 10 a.m. until Monday, May 6th, 2024 at 11:59 p.m. I haven't, again, it's not available yet, so I haven't participated in it, but I believe it's probably a question and answer, maybe something interactive that you can participate in. I think the key that struck me was this is a virtual public meeting. It covers Austin, Calhoun, Colorado, DeWitt, Fayette, Gonzales, Jackson, Lavaca, Matagorda, Victoria, and Wharton counties. So basically, from here going back towards Houston, and I know there's lots of work to be done on Highway 98. I traveled Houston this weekend, and it's bumper to bumper all the way there, all the way back. So it's just we're getting some congestion on Highway 98. So I think that would be, if I had to make a comment, that'd be the comment I made. Anyway, we just want to acknowledge that that's available to you. Maybe Nalene, you could put that on the website, that link. That'd be great. And that way anyone could participate in it. And they've asked us to share this with our constituents. So anybody can participate. I don't think we need a motion on that. On number 3, moving on to item number 3, discussed, unless anyone wanted to discuss anything else on the text dot. Any other comments on text dot? None. None. Item number 3, discuss and approve budget amendments to add a temporary part-time help for the Lavaca County Precinct 1 Road and Bridge Department for the purpose of shredding. There's no attachment on that. Mr. Puska, do you want to say anything on that?
Yes, I neglected to put a item in the budget about hiring part-time help for shredding purposes. I do have some money in one account, miscellaneous account, matter of fact, and I'm going to take some money out of there and move it to a part-time employee, and it will be a high school student, a graduating senior, and he's going to start the 29th. If I get your approval to move money from one line item to another line item.
Before we have a motion, is that possible to move?
That is possible. He has money in miscellaneous, and he's just gonna move it up to a payroll line item for part-time help, similar to precinct 3.
Okay. I would also say we had a contingency line item, and I know we pulled from that already in the last 8 months.
I would not pull from contingency.
Okay.
I would utilize their own budget if they have available.
Okay.
Contingency is there in the event, I don't know, you just have, it's not just used for payroll.
Right.
Contingency is used for other things within the county that may come up that we need money for.
Okay. So we had a motion. You want to say something? Yes, go ahead.
Question. Liability-wise, is there an age associated with
I
employment?
believe this employee, part-time employee is already 18.
Okay.
He hasn't graduated, but he will in May. So he's probably just gonna work after school for now and then maybe into the summer.
Yes.
Okay. So, I mean, at 18 years of age, they are of legal age, but, I mean, the county can hire 16-year-olds as well. And on the road and bridge, you just have to be careful what you give them to do, and what equipment you give them to operate.
Okay.
Okay.
But
Yes.
he's 18, this
All right.
particular employee is.
So I had a motion made by precinct 1,
Second.
second by precinct 2, to approve the budget amendments to add a temporary part-time help for the Lavaca County Precinct 1 Road and Bridge Department for the purpose of shredding. Any other discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. That motion passes. All right, moving on to item number 4. Item number 4 reads an update on ExecuTime, which is our new timekeeping system, and with a go-live date of April 29th, 2024, out of our auditor's office. Madam Auditor?
Yes, on Monday, April 29th, which is next Monday, is our go-live date for our ExecuTime timekeeping system. And this will be for all Lavaca County employees that are hourly, that keep up with their time and have their supervisor approve their time. There will be one more paper time sheet that will be turned into the auditor's office to process payroll, and that will be for pay period April 13th through the 26th. After that, there will be no more paper time sheets that we will accept. Now, if the department wants to keep their own paper time sheets to parallel with the timekeeping system, that's their choice. We just won't take those.
And
Other questions?
after talking with Jason, I would encourage all departments to keep a paper sheet just in case there's an internet outage or something of that nature that,
That is perfectly fine.
Yeah.
Our office just will not take it
right,
unless it's extreme circumstances. But even then, with the internet outage, you can always input your time later.
that's it. But I mean, just so we didn't have any confusion or if you needed that, just to have a record of it,
No,
so.
I encourage departments to keep their own paper time
The
sheet.
backup system.
At least
Okay.
To where they,
Yep.
I would encourage for them to plan accordingly as to not delay payroll processing. Employees are required to review and approve their time at the end of each pay period. They can do that the Friday of, the end of the pay period or the Monday after. Then the supervisor, department head, elected official must go in and approve the time.
Right.
That's just like signing your time sheet. The employee signs the time sheet, makes sure everything's correct, and the supervisor then signs the time sheet. If the employee waits until the Monday after, they then have to click previous pay period, because the Monday after, you're already in another pay period. That has been a little bit of confusion for some departments and some employees, doing that. I will, say, if an employee does not approve their time sheet, and the supervisor doesn't approve their time sheet, the time that has been entered in and outs will still get pulled, but we're not gonna be the ones to check the time. We're gonna process payroll. If the payroll is incorrect, if they're getting paid too less, or if they're getting paid too much, at some point we will catch it and we will correct it at the next pay period. There will always be a correction, and the employee supervisor must notify us if they are getting, most employees are gonna notify us if they're not getting paid enough. I'm not all too sure if they're gonna notify us if they're getting paid too much, because that has happened. We have had some, time come over where people have gotten way more in comp time than what they should have been. And at this point, Brooke may catch it, and she may not catch it. That's the whole purpose of our timekeeping system, is to lessen the time on us and put more of the responsibility on the employee and on the departments to approve their time.
Brooke and she pretty much have the majority of the bugs out of the system, I believe, after Friday.
They have,
But there's still gonna be bugs with the people using the system,
Oh, yeah.
and they're just gonna have issues come up.
oh, yeah, there's still gonna be issues, there is no doubt.
Yeah.
There will still be
And we need to
issues,
be-
but we will work through those issues, and, 6 months from now to a year, everyone will sit back and wonder why we ever did paper timesheets.
Amen to that.
Just as a point of information, so you have to, the employee can go back in and manually enter their time or adjust it and do like you're saying, let's say go back in on Monday. Jason is preparing for us, and I don't know, this is just what he's telling me, preparing for us a desktop with a monitor.
Right?
So, because I have one laptop that I use, and that means that everybody's going to want to get on it at once, and they don't know how to use it. So, we're going to be a little bit handicapped until he gets that in place, and we don't have it yet.
Okay, so
So-
your clock should work. I know Brooke and Sheila went to all 4 precincts last Friday, and they made sure that you were able to clock in and out, and the button now, you can request time
Time
off, is now working. So all the
Yeah.
buttons, you should be able to clock in and out.
Yeah.
And honestly, the time clock itself is a lot easier to use than an employee trying to get on a
Yeah.
desktop that is uncomfortable working with any type of computer.
Yeah.
Um,
And I was there Friday when they came, and so it did go live. She reprogrammed it, and it went live, and so it's just, there's a learning curve. So if they can get to it, it's not as easy because it's just a small screen.
Yeah.
You can't manipulate everything very, very easily, but it can be done, don't get me wrong. So,
Well, I mean, it's a learning curve, so we'll be patient with you. If you need help, please do not hesitate to call Brooke, Sheila, or myself. If I can't help you, because they've been the gurus on this pretty much the whole time, I've been in on all of the meetings and stuff, and I know how to operate it, but there may be details that they can answer quicker than me.
okay.
Um,
No, they've been very helpful. Y'all have been very, appreciate that.
we do our best. If there is a time calculation error on a paycheck or pay stub, please let us know, and again, we will correct it on the next paycheck.
Okay.
Or even 2 paychecks, however far in the future. So if you get paid too much money, you might not get a paycheck in the future. We'll go cut it.
I'm sure we'll work it out just fine.
Okay, okay.
The only time
too. I was there
Like
in 88.
78 and a half.
89?
Maybe we'll catch up with the 90s, the early 2000s, and go biometric, where they have to use a thumbprint.
I like
We
that.
could do that.
From the judge's office, I would ask, also, thank you, Jason's not here in the room today, but Jason Spector, our new technology director, has done a fantastic job. He's had his arms pulled every which way trying to implement this system while also trying to fix squad cars and everything else that's coming in for their technology needs and doing his other needs as required. So it's been, hadn't had any boots on the ground like that we could use, and now we have that. So it's been a blessing to have him around.
I will have no comment.
Okay, no comment. All right, do we have a motion to approve the update?
Yes. Second.
Motion made by precinct 3, seconded by precinct 4 to approve the update on executive time as provided. Any other discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Number 5, discuss the TCDRS 2025 plan year assessment for Lavaca County and approve the required contribution rate. And this is also at the auditor's office, found on page 2 through 4 of your packet.
This is our 2025 plan that TCDRS has calculated for us. Our required rate is 15.54%. We currently have an elected rate of 17%. So our elected rate, we're actually paying in more, about 2% more, 1.5% more than what our required rate is, and that goes towards our unfunded liability. You can see that at the bottom of the plan assessment. Our funded ratio is 87.6%. And that little bit of a difference, up to 17%, goes towards that unfunded portion of that ratio. We do need to you need to approve whether you want to keep the elected rate, you want to bump it down to the required rate. I would recommend staying with the elected rate to give a little bit of cushion towards our retirement plan.
As far as the funded ratio goes, is that improving, has been improving?
If you go to the next page, I think it's page 3 of the TCDR rate assessment. It'll show you from years 2021 to 2022 all the way up to this next year. It's improving. It stays around the 85% to the 87% mark, the funded ratio.
Okay. I'm just throwing it out there. Is there a goal to get to 100%? Is that kind of the theory?
If you want to get to 100%, Lavaca County has to make extra contributions into the rate, into the plan. The biggest reason why our funded ratio is lower is the 2-to-1 match that the county did way back in probably right before I came, probably 2007, when they took the retiree health insurance away. They changed our retirement plan to, I think, 1-to-1, maybe to the 2-to-1 match, and they made that retroactive all the way back to the 1970s when we first started with TCDRS. So that was a heavy load on Lavaca County and gave us a huge liability to pay off. And so that bumped our funding ratio down. TCDRS, I don't think is real concerned with it as long as you don't continuously give lots of raises to your retirees year after year after year, because that becomes a huge liability. We did one last year.
That's what I was gonna say, yeah.
We did one last year. And as long as your funded ratio pretty much stays in the 80s, you're okay.
Okay.
You're not concerned.
Do I hear a motion?
I'll make a motion, we go with elected rate 17%, as we did in the past. And I remember when we did all that in the past, it worked out well. And like we talked about before, we got about the 85% payoff, and we discussed to where if we were to try to pay it off, it would still basically be a wash or be just as effective as staying with the 17%.
So to consolidate your motion, was a motion for 17%?
Correct.
Okay.
I'll second that.
All right. Motion made by precinct 4, second by precinct 3 to leave the approved required contribution rate at 17%. Any other discussion or comments? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. That motion passes. Number 6, discuss and approve increase in law enforcement liability coverage to $3 million through the TAC risk management pool. That's found on page 5 through 9. That's also out of the auditor's office.
Yeah, Your Honor, I had asked Shana to provide some options in making this consistent. We have $3 million limits of liability for every department except for law enforcement, and so it's going to cost us a few $100s to make that change. They were $2 million, so we're moving them to $3 million, so they'll be consistent with everybody else in the county, and so that was the purpose of this
Okay.
item.
Any other discussion, comments? A motion?
I move that we adopt the increase in law enforcement liability coverage to $3 million through the TAC risk management pool.
Second.
A motion made by precinct 2, second by precinct 1, to approve the increase in law enforcement liability coverage to $3 million through the TAC risk management pool. Any other discussion or comments? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. That motion passes. Number 7, found on page 10. Number 7 is discuss and approve declaring the week of May 5th through May 11th, 2024 as National Correctional Officers Week in Lavaca County. If y'all recall, I think last time this year we went and toured the jail and the sheriff's office facilities, and was very eye-opening what those jailers have to do back there. But let me read this proclamation and I'll ask for a motion. The proclamation reads, whereas correctional officers have the difficult and often dangerous assignment of ensuring the custody, safety, and well-being of over 600,000 inmates in our nation's prisons and jails. Their position is essential to the day-to-day operations of these institutions. Without them, it would be impossible to achieve the foremost institutional goals of security and control. Whereas historically, correctional officers have been viewed as guards, occupying isolated and misunderstood positions in prisons and jails, in recent years, the duties of these officers have become increasingly complex and demanding. They are called upon to fill simultaneously custodial, supervisory, and counseling roles. The professionalism, dedication, and courage exhibited by these officers throughout the performance of these demanding and often conflicting roles deserve our utmost respect. The important work of correctional officers often does not receive the recognition from the public it deserves. It is appropriate that we honor the many contributions and accomplishments of these men and women who are a vital component of the field of corrections. Whereas, in recognition of the contributions of correctional officers to our nation, the Congress, by Senate Joint Resolution 132, has designated the week of May 5th through May 11th, 2024 as National Correctional Officers Week. Now, therefore, we, the members of the Lavaca County Commissioners Court, do hereby proclaim the week beginning May 5th, 2024 as National Correctional Officers Week. We call upon officials of state and local governments and the people of the United States to observe this week with appropriate ceremonies and activities. And that's the proclamation. Do I hear a motion?
Yes.
Motion made by precinct 1. Second by precinct 2 to approve declaring the week of May 5th through May 11th, 2024 as National Correctional Officers Week in Lavaca County. Any other comments?
Thank y'all for what y'all do.
Absolutely.
I see Sheriff in the back of the room. Thank you, Sheriff, and tell Becky thank you as well. I know she does a fantastic job, and she's had her hands full. The jail's been full several times in the last several months, and it's a large duty running a hotel of 48 inmates or so, feeding them. It's a bed and breakfast, basically. 3 square meals a day for 48 inmates is no easy task. Anyway, it's a job well done. So I had a motion made by precinct 1, second by precinct 2. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Thank you. Motion passes. All right, number 8. Moving along on the same theme is discuss and approve declaring the week of May 12th through May 18th as National Police Week in Lavaca County. And that proclamation reads, whereas the Congress and President of the United States have designated May 15th as Peace Officers Memorial Day and the week in which May 15th falls as National Police Week. And whereas the members of the law enforcement agency of Lavaca County play an essential role in safeguarding the rights and freedoms of Lavaca County. And whereas it is important that all citizens know and understand the duties, responsibilities, hazards, and sacrifices of their law enforcement agency, and that members of our law enforcement agency recognize their duty to serve the people by safeguarding life and property, by protecting them against violence and disorder, and by protecting the innocent against deception and the weak against oppression. And whereas the men and women of the law enforcement agency of Lavaca County unceasingly provide a vital public service. Now therefore, we, the members of Lavaca County Commissioners Court, call upon all citizens of Lavaca County and upon all patriotic, civic, and educational organizations to observe the week of May 12th through May 18th, 2024 as Police Week, with appropriate ceremonies and observances in which all of our people may join in commemorating law enforcement officers past and present who by their faithful and loyal devotion to their responsibilities have rendered a dedicated service to their communities, and in doing so have established for themselves an enviable and enduring reputation for preserving the rights and security of all citizens. We further call upon all citizens of Lavaca County to observe Wednesday, May 15th as Peace Officers Memorial Day in honor of those law enforcement officers who through their courageous deeds have made the ultimate sacrifice in service to their community or have become disabled in the performance of duty. And I just recognize and pay respect to the survivors of all fallen heroes. And that's the proclamation. Do I hear a motion?
So moved.
Motion made by Precinct 3,
Second.
second by Precinct 1, to approve declaring the week of May 12th through May 18th, 2024 as National Police Week in Lavaca County. Any other comments or questions? And again, I think it's almost daily you see something on the national news where an officer was killed in line of duty. Today there was one that was, I don't know where it was, Sheriff, you may know, but they were murdered in the line of duty, murdered, ambushed, whatever. And I think we take a lot of them for granted. It's unfortunate that we do that. I know this county is pro-law enforcement by and large. There's other cities that are not. And I think some of those cities, I'm not asking for a boycott, but I think sometimes you got to be careful where you go if there's not enough protection. So thank you for what y'all do. We appreciate it. We look to honor you in some way this week. I don't know how to do it myself, but I'm sure there'll be some opportunities as we go along. But thank you for serving. Thanks to all of our peace officers. All right, I had a motion made by Precinct 3, second by Precinct 1, to approve declaring the week of May 12th through May 18th, 2024 as National Police Week in Lavaca County. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. That motion passes. Okay. And this is a short one, I promise you. This is agenda item number 9. Acknowledge proclamation declaring the week of April 28th through May 5th, 2024 is Texas Soil and Stewardship Week. Excuse me, it's real short. I'm going to read it to you real quick. Whereas fertile soil and clean water provide us with our daily sustenance, and whereas effective conservation practices have helped provide us a rich standard of living, and whereas our security depends upon healthy soil and clean water, and whereas stewardship calls for each person to help conserve these precious resources, therefore I do hereby proclaim the week of April 28th, May 5th, 2024 as Texas Soil and Water Stewardship Week. Do I hear a motion?
Yes.
Second.
Motion made by Precinct 1, second by Precinct 2, to declare the week of April 28th through May 5th, 2024 as Texas Soil and Water Stewardship Week. Any other discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. That motion passes. And that's going to be fitting when we get on to the number 11. So we'll carry that down there, number 11. Number 10, discuss and approve adopting Lavaca County Court confidentiality policy and agreement in accordance with the Texas Supreme Court. That's found on page 15 through 18. Basically, the Supreme Court is mandating that we're doing this. Nothing changes. Judges have to abide by canon law, and so does every clerk as well. That's kind of understood in our court system. What they're doing is taking a step forward, is making sure that we've had a meeting to discuss it, and employees sign their confidentiality agreement, that they know the consequences of failing to meet those obligations. One of the key things is we hear the background noise in criminal cases of what's going on. Some things never make it to court for whatever reason, but we hear a lot of things, and we're supposed to be confidential. So we're supposed to have this in place by May 1st. I think I talked to Lori. We'll probably have a meeting day in the courtroom here if this passes today, which we need to pass it. And then we'll get everyone to sign it, and that'll be part of their employment records. So the agreements that we're signing, the agreement that's here, will be signed by the employees that are affected by this in our court systems, and then that will be in their employment file, permanent employment file. So that's what I'm asking of the court today. So do I hear a motion to approve the confidentiality policy?
Second.
Okay, motion made by precinct 4, second by precinct 3, to adopt the Lavaca County Court confidentiality policy and agreement in accordance with the Texas Supreme Court. Any other discussion or comments? Okay, if not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. The motion passes. Number 11, discuss and acknowledge the governor has removed Lavaca County from its drought disaster proclamation renewal. And I think we need to hear a big amen on that.
For how long?
For how long? Probably a couple months, I'm guessing. But right now, the measurements are that we're out of their range of I don't know what you call it, Tim. What's that the index? KBDI. That's a satellite imagery that measures the soil saturation rates. So we are officially off the governor's disaster proclamation. Do I hear a motion to acknowledge that?
I so move that we acknowledge and the governor has removed Lavaca County from its drought disaster proclamation renewal.
Second.
Motion made by precinct 2, second by precinct 1, to acknowledge that Governor Abbott has removed Lavaca County from its drought disaster proclamation renewal. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. That motion passes. And that's very nice to hear. We're making some progress out of the drought. Okay, number 12, discuss and approve implementing a permitting fee to Lavaca County driveway permit. I have no attachment on that.
Okay, yeah, there's no attachment. Your Honor, that is, I asked to discuss that. I guess kind of want to breach the subject because we're getting called on more and more to provide that service. And so as development continues, and primarily that's where I see it, people are putting in culverts and asking us to inspect them, provide them with specifications, get the permit signed, bring it back to Naylene and have her file that and keep a record of it. And so I'll probably just kind of do some research and find out, what the standard is for counties in providing a culvert permit, driveway permit. And as development continues, we need to consider emergency vehicle use, be it law enforcement or ambulance, and that we need to have a handle on this. But anyway, I wouldn't ask for any action on this. I just wanted to put it out there and say, let's take a look at it and see what our neighboring counties are doing and see if we can continue to get ahead of this curve before.
What is our permitting process until currently?
Good question. Currently what we do, we have a permit on a clipboard, and we get a call and say, we want to put a culvert in here. We had this happen last week. The guy wants to put in 2 culverts. And so we make an appointment, go out there, meet with them, probably spend 30, 45 minutes discussing the nuances of culverts and what you need to do. And of course, there's always the idea of, are you going to pay for this? Will the county pay for us to put the culvert in? No, we don't install culverts, haven't for many, many years. And so we go through that process, and then the process of, well, what are my options in terms of culverts? And some of them, are arched culverts, and some of them are not, depending on the road and the drainage and that sort of thing. So we go through that process and then have them sign it, we sign it, and then return that form to Naylene. It gets filed, never to be seen again. That's That's really the process.
That's the process.
Is that accurate?
That's accurate.
So,
If we have a piece of equipment that can be used, we clear the ditch for them.
Right.
But as far as gravel, supplies, or pipe, the landowner is in charge of all that. So,
30-foot minimum.
30-foot minimum. Some complain about that, but if they get a metal pipe, 20-foot long, they're wasting their time because a larger vehicle or pulling a trailer, you're gonna run off the sides and just squeeze it till it's not gonna hold water. Let water run through it.
Better yet, the fire truck or ambulance.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Yeah, and what'll happen is that when that culvert becomes non-functional, then the water's gonna cut across the road, it'll cut the road, and so that we see that, we deal with, we deal with that a lot. The other thing, we had a developer here last year that, Nayland, you and I sat down, Blue Indy, remember that guy? And, they broke up, about 80 acres, and it was all on a county road, so there was no subdivision involvement. But we gave them specifications for the culverts. And we go out there now, and one guy has put in like a 12-inch culvert. That was not the specification. It was supposed to be 18, supposed to be with an arch. It's not there. And other people that bought that property have just dumped limestone in the ditch. So I guess my question is, what do we do about that? How do we handle it?
Well, they need to be contacted.
Well, I've done that, there's no response. So do we go dig it out?
I think,
As far as I'm concerned.
I think it goes back to, we need to probably review the whole subject in its entirety with the subdivision plans. Our office is going, right now, and I don't mind saying it, I think, with regards to septic, it's not on the issue, it's not on the table here, but we're gonna have to issue some citations. For the first time, Lavaca County has looked the other way with some septic violations. We can't do that anymore. We cannot keep looking the other way. There's too many people moving in that it's gonna affect later on if we look the other way. So regarding this subject, I do think we probably need to take a holistic look at it, from how does it fit into the plans, how do we, if someone does put a 12-foot culvert in and it wasn't up to our specs, what do we do? Do we cite them? Who cites them? Again, it'd come out of the judge's office, judge's and commissioner's office, I would think. Puts burden on everybody. Nobody wants to do those things. It's not necessarily law enforcement, it's a compliance issue. So with the septic, TCQ is actually making us do one right now. So TCQs will make us cite somebody for being in violation. So basically, in that perspective, to put in perspective, is we provide the landowner 30 days notice that they are out of compliance for whatever we visibly or have seen, and they've got 30 days to comply or face $500 fines, daily fines. I mean, so it's a serious issue with septic, and that's an environmental issue. So with this, I think that's what you guys need to come up with is, what is your course of action that can be done? And it needs to be probably done in our subdivision regulations when we go back to that. And that's something that we've been tabling, still working on behind the scenes. We're gonna, again, we're an attorney short upstairs, so that puts us puts the court in a burden. But we're working on a solution to that in the next couple months. So I don't know what you want to.
I just moved, I had the item for discussion actually, so.
Okay.
But I'd like for us to, revisit this, in maybe another month. Let's kind of gather some data out in the field and see what we can come up with and look at it again.
Okay. Anybody else?
Sounds good to me.
Okay. So motion to table item number 12.
Yes.
Motion made by precinct 2, second by precinct 1 to table item number 12 until a later date till we have some more information and can come back with a holistic approach, I hope. All right. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. That motion is tabled, or that item is tabled. All right, number 13, discuss and acknowledge Lavaca County being the top beef production county in the state of Texas. Yes.
Woo-hoo.
That is a fascinating trend. This is This was brought to us by Carol Roeder, who subscribes to a Drover's report. We've always heard this, we're always between us and Gonzales, who's the top beef production county. Lavaca County is the top beef production county in Texas by we have 68,262 head of mama cows. We are the 9th largest county in the United States for beef production. Gonzales, and we're not making fun of Gonzales at this point, but they're dropped to number 4 in the county, in the state. So Lavaca is number 1 at 68,262 head. Houston County, which is somewhere up in East Texas, is Crockett, 63,000 head. The third largest, believe it or not, is our neighbor, Fayette County, 57,925. And then Gonzales falls fourth at 57,341. The article did not talk about droughts playing a part. I do think Lavaca County probably fared the last couple of years better. We brought in hay from all sorts of sources, and I can think a lot of families, the Roders, the Yanoks, there's a lot of people that brought in a lot of rice straw and things from the south and went out and hustled it for us. And we held our cattle counts up pretty high. But we are now officially the top beef production county in the state of Texas. So I was proud to read our name, and and it actually talked about us in the article. All right, do I hear a motion to accept that?
Yes. Second.
Motion made by precinct 1, seconded by precinct 3 to acknowledge that Lavaca County is the top beef production county in the state of Texas. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. That motion passes. All right, number 14, service award presented to Javier Villarreal for 5 years of service to Lavaca County. Javier is not here today, but we have his certificate. Mr. Tim Decker, if you'll take it home for him or take it back to him, we appreciate it. And with that, we'll move into consent. Do we have a motion to move into consent?
So moved. Second.
I'm going to say motion made by precinct 3, seconded by precinct 4. All those in favor of moving into consent, say aye. Aye. We are in consent. Our microphones will go off until we're out of consent.